Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call to order this meeting of Susquehanna Township Board of Commissioners. I would note that all commissioners are present, with the exception of Commissioner Fleming. Oh, there he is. That the board did meet in executive session to discuss matters permitted under law, including litigation, real estate, and personnel. With that, we have a packed crowd, and we'll try to move things along pretty quickly tonight. We'll start with a pledge of allegiance led by Commissioner Napper, followed by a moment of silence.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Chief Martin and Commissioner Rabarchek, will you join me up front? Let's turn this around. That's better. Everybody hear me? All right. I'd like to welcome you. This is a great week in Susquehanna Township, especially for our schools. This week I had the honor of taking part in a scholastic achievement ceremony over at the high school. And I had a scholarship in honor of my father, the late Jack Lynch. It's the local government award, and we had a lot of great essays on the importance of local government. And we had two winners. It's a shame we could only have two, but there were only two. One was Monica Feely. I don't know if Monica's here tonight, but also Jean Friedlander. Is Jean here? Please stand up. It was a really good essay, and we had a lot of good essays, and I know it was hard for the judges to come to a decision, but we did, and they did. There was also an athletics recognition this week, too, and we'd like to amplify that a little bit. But two of those that we're going to talk to and about tonight are Brett Floyd and Allison Hartman. And I'll tee it up and give it over to Chief Martin first and then Commissioner Rabarchek. But let me just say, never in my life have I ever met somebody who threw a no-hitter. And tonight I'm going to meet one who threw a no-hitter and another who threw several. So we'll leave it at that, and I'll turn it over to Chief Martin at this point. Chief?
I just want to say, Brett, stand up so everybody can see you. Absolutely. Brett, come on up and bring your teammates with you.
Thanks, you're good. Thank you.
Well, before I read the proclamation, Brett is a senior, soon to be graduating from Susquehanna Township High School. On our last game of the season last week, we played James Buchanan, and he did throw a no-hitter. 1-0 no-hitter, gave up one walk. Through his 4-year tenure playing high school baseball, he has been not only an outstanding baseball player, but he's an excellent representative of the character of what we want Susquehanna Township to be. And he's been an excellent representative of the Susquehanna Township School District. So I want to say that first and foremost. And he's going on to Bloomsburg University, where he's going to be play baseball and pitch. He was recruited by Bloomsburg to pitch, and I know he's going to have a great experience there and take him to the next level of baseball. But let me read this proclamation. Proclamation number 15-P-01. Recognizing the outstanding and distinguished accomplishment of Brett Floyd and the Susquehanna Township varsity baseball team. Whereas Susquehanna Township varsity baseball team played Mid-Penn League opponent James Buchanan High School on May 8th, 2015. And whereas Susquehanna Township varsity baseball team was victorious in the game of May 8th, 2015 by a score of 1-0. Whereas Susquehanna Township varsity baseball team senior varsity pitcher Brett Floyd and teammates performed with flawless skill and ability, and the skill and ability of the Susquehanna Township varsity baseball team resulted the very rare accomplishment of a no-hit, no-run performance in team victory. Therefore, be it proclaimed, Brett Floyd, and the Susquehanna varsity baseball team be recognized and honored by the citizens and Board of Commissioners of Susquehanna Township, and be it further proclaimed that May 15th, 2015, be declared Brett Floyd and Susquehanna Township baseball team in Susquehanna Township proclaimed this 14th day of May 2015. Brett, congratulations.
Chief, thank you for your time and coaching these young men. It's a great job. It's really appreciated by the community. Next up, we have Commissioner Rabarchak, who is going to speak with pride about one of our own residents in the mighty first ward of Susquehanna Township. Jody?
Thank you. Good evening. Okay, and we're here to talk about Allison Hartman. When I first met Allison, Allison, come on up. And I think we have members of the softball team too. Would you ladies all like to come up and the team up? And Coach Buffington. We have Coach Buffington too, our head coach.
Oh, no.
No. Thank you. All right. When I first met Allison Hartman, she was an adorable little girl, probably about this tall, running around and playing at her big sister's softball games and in our neighborhood. Over the years, Allison has grown into a beautiful and talented young woman and incredible athlete. Every time I see Allie, she has a big smile on her face, and she serves as a great role model for her peers. Allison is a graduating senior of Susquehanna Township High School, and she was a valuable asset as a player for 4 years on both the varsity softball and varsity field hockey teams. In addition to athletics, Allison excelled in several other areas during her high school career. She's a distinguished scholar, a member of the high school band and chorus, a member of county chorus, and Allison received the Outstanding Female Athlete Award as well as the Beverly Ann Cole Award. Tonight we're recognizing some of Allison's many accomplishments as the pitcher for Susquehanna Township's varsity softball team. Here tonight to help us recognize Allison's accomplishments are her parents, Shelley and Steve Hartman, and Dr. Patricia Buffington, who is the Susquehanna Township High School head softball coach, and of course, her teammates. So on behalf of the Susquehanna Township Board of Commissioners, I'd like to present Allison Hartman with the proclamation recognizing the outstanding and distinguished high school varsity softball pitching career of Allison Hartman. Whereas Allison Hartman is a 4-year varsity player for the Susquehanna Township softball team, whereas Allison Hartman has 40 victories as a starting pitcher, and whereas Allison Hartman is the Susquehanna Township career leader in strikeouts with a total of 680 strikeouts, and whereas Allison Hartman has accomplished the amazing feat of 12 shutouts, 2 no-hitters, and 1 perfect game. And whereas Allison Hartman has earned and been recognized as a Mid-Penn Keystone Division First-Team All-Star for 2012, 2013, and 2014 so far. Whereas Allison Hartman will continue her education and pitching career at Morgan State University. Now therefore be it proclaimed, Allison Hartman be recognized and honored by the citizens and Board of Commissioners of Susquehanna Township. And be it furthermore proclaimed, May 16th, 2015, be declared Allison Hartman Day in Susquehanna Township. So, congratulations. We
Thank you, young ladies. You're making history. And speaking of history, we have somebody, a distinguished guest in our midst tonight, Representative Sue Helm, who would like to talk a little bit about Susquehanna Township's history. Representative Helms?
Thank you very much for giving me some time tonight on your agenda. And I'm here to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Susquehanna Township becoming a township. And the way I found out about this, one of my constituents came and told me, and I looked it up, and she was absolutely right. So that's why it's so important that when you have situations, always call our office and let us know when things are going on. If you need any help, we're always there to help you. But tonight I would like to read this citation from the House of Representatives in honor of Susquehanna Township. It says, whereas it always is with a deep sense of pride that the House of Representatives of Pennsylvania recognizes those communities that strive to preserve the traditions of the past as they encourage the strength and growth of community spirit in the present and for future generations. And whereas Susquehanna Township is being congratulated upon the momentous occasion of its 200th anniversary. And whereas named for the Susquehannock tribe of Native Americans who inhabited the area in the early 1700s, Susquehanna Township was established as a township on May 1, 1815, and became a first-class township in 1952. Lauded as an important corridor of trapping, trade, and transportation, the township is now home to numerous businesses, several state government departments, 2 television stations, a number of radio stations, the National Civil War Museum, the Widener University School of Law, and the 4th largest post office in the United States. Additionally, Susquehanna Township's dedicated local government provides residents with police and fire protection, infrastructure maintenance, a water supply, sewer collection and treatments, health services, local planning, recreation and parks, licensing of businesses and code enforcement. Throughout its proud history, it has been blessed with dedicated civic leaders who have helped it to grow and flourish, as well as diligent and productive citizens who have helped it to become an inspiring presence in the Commonwealth. Now, therefore, the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania pays tribute to Susquehanna Township upon the momentous occasion of its 200th anniversary. Affirmatively states that its wealth of contributions over the past 200 years is a vital facet of this Commonwealth's rich history, extends sincere best wishes for the continuation of its most worthy endeavors in the years to come. So we appreciate everything you do.
Okay, we have some other guests here tonight, and we're going to change the agenda around. We have promotions under the police report later on in the agenda, but in the interest of the candidates themselves as well as their families, we'll move that up in the agenda to at this point in the meeting, and I would ask Public Safety Director, Chief Rob Martin, to come to the podium and make those presentations. Chief?
I'm going to ask Captain Vargo to come and join me. Well, before that, I call them up one at a time and say a few words about them and recommend their promotion. I do have just a little bit I want to say. In view of incidents across our nation that have sparked debate over law enforcement over the past 10 months, tonight we celebrate 5 promotions and a new vision for our police department. With tonight's promotions, we now have leadership for our new unit to focus upon quality of life concerns and abandoned properties. But it's going to be more than that. Tonight, we make a commitment to our DMC programming, and I announce for the first time an initiative that's related to preventive measures and interacting with our youth. I've been in communication over the past couple months with the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency, along with Dr. Stephanie Bradley at the Epicenter located at Penn State University and State College. And I've committed our police department to working with the PCCD and the Epicenter to become a model for police preventative practices in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Tonight, we recognize that law enforcement can and should be that entity of government that can uplift a community. Prior to bringing each of these promotees up to the podium, I want to acknowledge that all 5 of them have served in the United States military and enlisted when they were teenagers. And I believe in recognizing those that serve our nation. And before we bring them up, let's give them a round of applause for serving. First, Patrol Officer First Class to be Chris Haynes. Chris, come on up. Chris served in the United States Marine Corps. We stole him from Manor Township Police Department in Lancaster County many years ago. He's been a member of our Accident Reconstruction Team and Dauphin County's Accident Reconstruction Team. He manages our PennDOT grants and exercises great leadership in that. But I want to tell a little bit of story about Chris so that everybody in this room knows the heart of Chris Haynes, because he's got a big heart. On December 17th, 2012, I was involved in the largest gun battle in the history of Dauphin County. On December 18th, I was in my office in the evening, and who appears at my doorway but Chris Haynes? And I'll never forget this. And he said, "Chief, I know you. You're looking out for all your people to make sure they're okay after that incident. I want to know how you're doing." That's the kind of police officer, that's the kind of human being that Chris Croft is, and that's the kind of police officer we want promoted in Susquehanna Township. So I recommend the promotion of Patrol Officer Chris Haynes.
We know you, so.
Yes, I do. Chris, congratulations. Patrol Officer Chris Croft. Chris has not only served in the U.S. Army, he continues to serve in the Army, and he's been deployed several times. I knew that was coming, Ward 3.
Right.
He is a crisis negotiator with the Dauphin County Crisis Response Team. He's an outstanding communicator. He has saved lives in his ability to communicate in crisis events. And he's got family history in Susquehanna Township with his grandparents living in Edgemont. So tonight we promote a great man, a great communicator, which is certainly that piece of a police officer going forward in our nation that's going to be the most important. So I recommend the promotion to Patrol Officer First Class of Officer Chris Croft. Patrol Officer Clee Tillman. Now, if you look at him, this is the guy you want as your partner. This is the big man. Clee is from Susquehanna Township, graduated from Susquehanna Township High School, served in the United States Army, another great communicator, a great young man that I had the privilege to hire some years ago, and he's been doing a great job for our police department and our citizens, and he's a legacy. His father was a beloved police officer in Steelton many years ago, and I myself happen to believe that this world's not a terminal point. Therefore, I know that his dad is looking down tonight, and he's quite proud, as he should be. So I recommend that Patrol Officer Clee Tillman be promoted to the rank of Patrol Officer First Class.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that Patrol Officer Chris Haynes, Patrol Officer Chris Croft, and Patrol Officer Clee Tillman be promoted to the rank of Patrol Officer First Class.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded and thirded. So, do we have any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I'd like to call up Patrol Officer First Class Jason Reber. And who will do your pinning? Christine. Significant other. Call her up.
There we go.
Jason, 16-year veteran of our police department, served in the U.S. Army. He's been not only a CRT negotiator, but he's now on the tactical team. He has been decorated with 2 Heroes medals, and quite frankly, presently, he's one of the most decorated police officers on our police department. And it gives me great pride, and as a chief, I've hired him as a very young man to recommend that Jason be promoted to the rank of corporal. Christine, make it hurt.
I always do.
Oh, boy. Mr. President, while the badge is being duly placed, painfully placed, maybe, I recommend that Patrol Officer First Class Jason Reber be promoted to the rank of corporal.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Corporal Francia Dunier and family. Here they come. Look out. Well, in my words for Francia, if you listen closely to the John Lennon song Woman, right before he starts singing, you will hear him whisper the words, "For the other half of the sky." Well, tonight, we promote, for the first time in the history of our police department, to a management position, the other half of the sky, and that's a lady. Corporal Dunier has served honorably in the U.S. Army and is deployed to foreign countries. She possesses a bachelor's degree, a master's in public administration. She's presently working on her doctorate from Indiana University of Pennsylvania, mother of two, and she leads our DMC initiative and will command the new unit and lead our preventative measures initiative with the Epicenter. And with that, I recommend to the board that Corporal Francia Dunier be promoted to Lieutenant Francia Dunier. All right, fellas. I'm not going to tell you to make it hurt. Okay, be gentle.
Oh.
It's sharp.
That's great.
Mr. President,
Mr. Engel.
I make a motion that Corporal Francia Dunier be promoted to the rank of lieutenant.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comment?
I have a comment,
Yes.
and I told her I was going to make a comment. I just got to say, and of course I'm going to be brief. I just want you to know, I'm just so proud. I sit on the committee, on the DMC committee with her, and so I know what type of leader she is. And I just want you to know, Chief, this makes me proud, not just because she's not just because she was Army, not just because she went to school on Staten Island, my hometown, but because she's the kind of officer that, that embodies what we are here in Susquehanna Township. And I'm so thankful to be here and be a part of this. Again, I tell her this, I'm so proud of her, just as if she was my own daughter. So,
Thank you, Commissioner.
choice.
Thank you. Thank you
I'll
very
pray.
much. Lieutenant?
Mr. Myers.
President?
Sure.
I have a microphone in front of me, so I always speak when I have a microphone in front of me. But I'd just like to say that what's transpired in the last 15 minutes, to me, just exemplifies what we are here in Susquehanna. Under Pennsylvania code, we are a township of the first class. But tonight, what this board, what the men and women of this township, employees, police officers, members of the school district have done is prove that we are a first-class township. And I'm just so proud to be part of this township. And I want to thank everybody in this room for allowing me to be part of this. And thank you all so very much. And Board of Commissioners, you've done a great thing here tonight. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. President, I got one more comment, if I may.
Yes, sir.
The chief said that he committed to the department becoming a model police department in Pennsylvania. I think they already are. I really believe that. And not necessarily do they become a model, as I said, they already are, but they will set the standard and have already, I believe, set the standard for law enforcement in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And they all should be applauded. We got 5 great people getting promoted tonight, but we got an outstanding group of men and women that comprise the entire Susquehanna Township Police Department. And thank you all very much for what you do.
Mr. President, Board, and just in ending, I want to say 2 quick things. First of all, a couple days ago we had an incident in the school district, and when that occurred, I was actually in a school in Hershey, a mandated school that I really didn't want to be at, but I was there anyway. And the guy that made things happen in my absence, as he always does, is Captain Jeff Vargo, and I want to thank him publicly for what he did that morning in ensuring that all of the kids in this township were safe. Until I got here, and he had things well under control. And it shows that this police department, no matter who's in command that day or that hour at 3 o'clock in the morning, that these officers are going to get it done. And lastly, to the officers in this room who came on their own time to support their brothers and sisters, and to those who can make it, I want to say to all of them tonight that I thank you for always giving your very best. Thank you.
Thank you. And I know we have a motion on the floor, and it's been seconded, but I would also like to tip my hat to all the 5 honorees here tonight and your 37 fellow officers. You do a great job under the leadership of the Public Safety Director, Chief Martin, and I couldn't be, as Mr. Myers has said, I couldn't be more proud to be associated with the most respected police department in central Pennsylvania, if not the Commonwealth.
Amen.
So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any other comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We're going to adjourn for cake.
Godspeed.
Oh, okay.
Moving on, petitions, complaints, suggestions from citizens. Do we have anybody that would like to speak?
Mr. DeFore.
Mr. DeFore, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. I will try to keep it brief. But the one thing before I talk about the golf tournament, the one thing I would like to add, being a former law enforcement officer, 5 years ago when I moved from the Metro Baltimore, D.C. area back to the central Pennsylvania, even though I'm from Susquehanna Township, one of the reasons why I chose Susquehanna Township was because of the police department. And they have definitely served the township well. And hopefully I'll be in Susquehanna Township for a very, very long time. But anyway, getting to the subject matter at hand. Again, my name's Timothy DeFore. Address is 1300 Ellis Drive, Harrisburg, PA, zip code 17110. And I'm here representing the Susquehanna Township High School Alumni Association. And I'm here to tell you about our 4th annual golf tournament, which is going to be Friday, June 19th at the Colonial Golf and Tennis Club. And the registration fee is $80, $320 per foursome. And the proceeds from this year's golf tournament are going to go towards our scholarship fund. As you recall, in previous years, we were raising money for the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, but because we received the grant from the county commissioners, we have the funds in place for that. So we're starting to raise money for the scholarship funds. And our goal is to give 2 scholarships every year. We were able to do that. We're able to give 2 $500 scholarships last year. And the goal is to eventually raise that to $1,000. For the $80, you get the greens fees. Well, excuse me, first of all, it's 8:30 shotgun start. For the $80, you get your greens fees, golf cart, awards luncheon, different prizes, free balls in the driving range, continental breakfast, and we're going to have a barbecue luncheon with barbecue chicken and barbecue pork ribs. So we're going to try to kind of plan a different menu, and I believe I sent information to the township office. If not, I can email it again.
It's done, yes.
Okay, so hope that that each of you can make it. And just a side note, Commissioner Fleming's team is the defending champs. Commissioner Lynch, your team was the defending champs. And I know in the back of his mind, Commissioner Napper is saying, I have a team that can beat both of them. So
I doubt it.
So to put an end to any feud that I've intentionally started, I recommend that you end it on June 19th at the alumni golf tournament.
Well, we are going to repeat as champions because I'm bringing Commissioner Hartwick.
Okay.
And more important, my nephew, Jason
Oh,
Fry.
It's over.
The ringer from San Diego.
It's over. It's over.
His home course is Torrey Pines.
I was going to say, who's a member of which club?
We'll just give them wrong directions to the golf course.
Well,
But
Good luck.
thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
And I shared this with Dwayne, I believe it was last week at the alumni pancake breakfast. I can't make it this year because of a work obligation, so I will not be there to defend. However, I'm proud to announce that I will provide a whole sponsorship on behalf of the class of 1998 for the golf tournament. So you do have that commitment from me, and I'm sorry I can't be there in person, but we will absolutely make that whole sponsorship
And
happen.
everybody is busy, very busy, so just the offer of the sponsorship means a lot to us, so thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And Sean's
Thank
going to
you.
donate on the class of 1962.
I also
No,
have
not
to add
6'2".
that commissioners have been very supportive of the alumni and the alumni efforts. So on behalf of the Alumni Association, even though my brother's the president, I'd like to thank each of you for the commitment and for the help and sponsorship and everything else that you've given to the Alumni Association. So it's greatly appreciated.
Great.
Mr. President?
Thank you.
If I may, I have one question for those of us that may not be golfers, and trust me, you don't want me golfing on your golf course. Is there anything we can do in the form of volunteerism that day?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
We are always asking for volunteers for different
Okay, so
different
there's,
things. So if there's a way that I can, I can email you information.
Sure.
And normally what we do, we have a volunteer meeting at the golf course the day before
okay,
the tournament. And also, for those of you who would like to attend the luncheon but don't
Golf.
don't golf, we're charging $35 for the luncheon only. So just in case you just want to attend the luncheon, so we're opening that up as well.
That sounds good.
Great. Thank you, Mr. DeFore.
Thank you.
Any other citizens that wish to comment? Yes. Dr. Todd Klein, new superintendent, welcome. Thank you for coming.
I'm glad to be here tonight, and the reason I came this evening was basically to thank the township. As Chief Martin said, we had quite an event here the other day on Tuesday, and to be on your 7th day on your new job and have to go through that, I was just glad I'd gone through active shooter training and such. But the main reason I'm here is that I want to thank you for the response of the police department here in the township. It's very professional. The response time was so quick. They were on the job right away, and I felt at that point that our kids were safe and our staff was safe, and they deserve a lot of kudos from that. So I really appreciate it, and I wanted to come publicly thank you for that. And I hope those partnerships can continue in the future.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
And can I say something quickly, Chief? I made mention of it a couple of meetings ago, but the hiring of Dr. Klein, I mean, we're so thrilled to have him here in our township as our new superintendent. I think everyone knows the history of what the school district has been through in terms of in the papers and everything like that. But when you attend the board meetings, you get a sense that things are turning around, and I think Dr. Klein is going to be a big part of that. So I look forward to working with him and continuing to work with the school board members and to help improve the standing of the school district.
Great. Okay, anybody else from the public wish to speak before we move on? Hearing none, we'll go into approval of minutes from the April 9th regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And the April 22nd second workshop meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries. Reports of committees, Buildings and Grounds, Commissioner Pine.
Mr. President, just a brief mention that the planned land purchase for from the Fish and Boat Commission is proceeding. These, of course, are the lands adjacent to our Township Highway Garage. The agreement has been approved by the State Attorney General. The parcel will be subdivided by the Township Engineer, and it should be in position for consideration at the June meeting.
That's our hope.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Budget and Finance, Commissioner Sanderson.
We have the second quarter packets, no, first quarter packets, excuse me, already distributed. If you have any questions, of course, please let me know, but other than that, I don't think we have any major reports to make. The next Budget and Finance Committee meeting has not yet been scheduled, but soon will be. That's it.
Thank you. Highways, Commissioner Napper.
Yes, Mr. President. The Highway Department report for the month of May. The Highway Department installed new signs and repaired damaged signs, patched potholes, repaired and installed new inlets, and cleaned out storm drains throughout the township. Roadside grass mowing and street sweeping continue. In 2015, the street sweeping schedule is posted on the township website. Street sweeping will continue from now until May 28th, south of Elmerton Avenue to Old Township Road. Highway Superintendent Dietrich and Manager Myers are requesting if any commissioner has a road that they want considered for the 2005 paving program, no patching, to please contact Manager Myers ASAP. And as a final note, Mr. President, located in Ward 9, 68 feet of drainage pipe at Reichert Road and Vernon Drive was replaced. This ends my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. Health and Sanitation, Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I didn't have a report. Do we want to talk about the smoking? Do we want to open that up now and talk about that now, or?
Yeah, it's something that we might discuss more fully at the workshop meeting.
You just want to postpone it for that time?
Well, you can discuss it and tee it up for that if you like, but in terms of getting into the details.
We can discuss it. But my only discussion is this: I just want to make a recommendation. I just want you all to support it. Period. And that's my discussion. Okay.
Okay.
No.
That's all, Mama?
That's it. No. Seriously. Seriously. We have been talking about smoking in our parks, and actually trying to create an ordinance for no smoking. And this is something that we had talked about some time ago, and I've kind of just sat on it. And so I want to revisit the subject. And I called and asked the manager to put this on the agenda. I was reminded the other day. I'll just tell you an incident that happened. As you all know, you could see from the back of my house, I can see Edgemont Park. And I was telling you all that I could see some people with intellectual disabilities. I could see that they utilize our park. Well, the other day I noticed that they were there and they had garbage bags and they were picking up things. So I said, well, let me go down and see what's going on. And what they do is they pick up cigarette butts in our parks. Okay, and I spoke with the lady who had the residents with her, and she said that they do that as a community service project, which is great. That's great, but when we talk about cigarettes in our park, that's kind of like an oxymoron. Our parks are for our kids, and most of the time when we're out at the parks, at least as an adult, for me, I may go just with my kids, and so smoking and kids don't go together. I know, and I think we all know. We have quite a few agencies here, businesses in the area that don't allow smoking on their grounds. And so what happens, and we've seen this, what's happening is people are getting in their cars and coming to the parks and smoking. And we would not be the first, and I don't think we're going to be the last township to say no smoking. And let me just clarify what I'm talking about. I guess the issue of smoking products is still up in the air. I mean, like chewing tobacco. But when we talk about open lit, cigarettes, cigars, those those items are what we're saying. Forgive me if you got the camera on me. But those are the items that we're talking about that we don't want to see in our parks. And that's, and that's just what I would like to see,
Okay, so we can come to our workshop meeting with a list of proposals that we can discuss and that ultimately Solicitor Foreman can bake into a pie.
Okay.
Mr. President, may I please comment? I know we're going to discuss it, but at a future point. But we discussed this a while ago in the past, and I wasn't so sure that it was an issue at our parks until I saw it for myself. And I'm sorry it took for me seeing it myself to realize that. But I would ask that our local businesses do not allow they ask their employees not to come to our parks and smoke, because school is going to be letting out before our next meeting when we get the word out. I've contacted one of the businesses and asked them to ask their employees. It seems only fair if they can't smoke on their grounds that they don't allow their employees to go to a park where kids are playing. They take up parking. Some of our parking is limited at Veterans when we have events there during the day. And when you have 7, 8, 9 people there just smoking, and they do have their ID badges on, by the way. So that's how we know that they are in fact from these businesses. The school district has gone to completely non-smoking. Hack Campus is non-smoking. CVS near Veterans Park doesn't sell cigarettes. I mean, as Commissioner Johnson said, the list goes on of the places that are eliminating smoking or, have a non-smoking policy. So we certainly don't need them littering and smoking around our kids at the parks. Thank you.
Well put, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Robarczyk. Support.
Okay, so we'll really get to the bottom of it, flesh it out, something that's workable, enforceable, and most important in the interest of our public health and safety.
Right. Well, just as another note, in talking to one of the ladies that was there, and she just explained to me, she was saying that there's a park in Hampton Township that you can go to and that it's non-smoking. And so, of course, my question was, and she said, and they actually, the police actually enforce the non-smoking over there. I think she said it's Adam Reese Park. But I know previously in our previous discussion, our discussion was, well, how was it going to be enforced? It's enforceable the same way we enforce no littering. So it's not like we're asking our police to do something that they can't do. But I think just by us having signs saying it's a no smoking park, I think for the most part our residents will abide by that. And but again, we don't have to waste a lot of time today talking about this. We can pick it up at our other meeting. And so I look forward to having that discussion. And if anybody has any questions in the meantime, please feel free to give me a call. And that concludes my comments.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right, no comment. Administration and Personnel, Commissioner Napper.
No comment, sir.
Thank you. Police, we already did. Did you have anything else, Commissioner Frankel?
Nothing further.
Okay. Fire and EMS, Commissioner Fleming.
Thank you, Mr. President. In terms of the fire report, the Progress Fire Company will be hosting a Traditions Truck Company Survival Seminar this Friday for 80-plus tri-state attendees. This is an annual program that is taught by Washington, D.C. firefighters. Rescue Fire Company will be hosting an open house at the Public Safety Building in conjunction with the Mayfair at Thomas Holtzman Elementary School, which is this Saturday. So everyone's invited to the Mayfair at Thomas Holtzman Elementary School. Bring your families, have a good time with that. There will be a lot of free games. I was going to include it in my school board report, but I'll just my school report, but I'll mention it now. Free games, fun games for the whole family. A lot of the activities there are free. There may be a food truck. I know there was last year. So there will be food, games, and a lot of outdoor activities. So, and traditionally the Holtzman Mayfair takes place rain or shine. So that's this Saturday. And of course, Rescue Fire Company with the building right out back here, they'll be hosting an open house during the Mayfair so people can see our public safety equipment. The public safety equipment that we have. And one other note, that the Rescue Fire Company is also hosting the Dauphin County Firemen's
Dauphin County Firemen's Association 97th convention on next month, Friday, June 12th, and Saturday, June 13th. And that's the first time, I think, Fire Marshal Dries, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the first time a Susquehanna company has hosted the county firemen's. Yeah, so it's been a while, and for more information on that, you can contact Fire Marshal Dries, and that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Fleming.
Oh, I'm sorry. One more. I do have one more item. I apologize. We are in year 3 of a 4-year, $191,000 DHS grant for firefighter retention and recruitment. We have about $90,000 left toward volunteer firefighter scholarships, training costs, added insurance and uniforms. And for additional information on the scholarships, please contact any township fire chief at either Rescue, Progress, or Edgemont Fire Company, or contact Fire Marshal Dries. I mean, that's a really key program that the Department of Homeland Security puts up to allow volunteer firefighters to increase their ranks, especially among young firefighters. So that's a heck of an incentive. So glad that that's working, and we're happy to be a part of that program, and we're happy to receive those federal dollars. So now that concludes my report. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Good to go.
Thanks, Commissioner. Recreation, Commissioner Johnson.
No report.
Planning and Zoning, Commissioner Schubert.
Yes, Mr. President. The Planning Commission has been doing a lot of work on sidewalks. It's an important issue, and not to, I want to congratulate the Sidewalk Committee for all the work they've done. They're trying to, make it a much more walkable community. But in the course of that, there's an ordinance has been developed, and so I'd like to make a motion authorizing a hearing and advertising this ordinance for the next meeting, which would be an amendment to Chapter 22 of the SALDO. Is that right, Bruce? That's right. And in the meantime, should I make this one motion or two?
You can do one motion if you want.
Okay. In addition to the sidewalk ordinance motion to advertise an ordinance, the Planning Commission also voted unanimously at the last Planning Commission meeting to repeal our conservation overlay ordinance. So I'd like to also include in that motion that we'd have a hearing and advertise to draw up that ordinance so we can vote on that at the next meeting as well.
Second. Second. Any comment?
Those would be two different hearings?
Different hearings, same day.
Okay.
Same day, right. So, any
Okay,
comment?
do we need to set a time for that?
7 p.m.
Well,
should be
it's
fine.
7, I'm sorry, you're
He
right.
did say
He
7
did tell me, June the 11th, which I think is our next meeting, June the 11th.
Yes, sir.
At 7 p.m. we'd have and then I guess right after one's over, we'll have the second one.
We can advertise them both for 7 o'clock. Then we can start the second one as soon as the first one's over.
Okay,
Okay. Good.
all right, so,
All right. Any other comment?
no, well, we made a motion and
Right.
second,
So we're
so,
about to conclude that.
yeah, right.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Who
carries.
seconded that motion?
I did. Thank you, Commissioner Fringle.
Yeah, so that would conclude my report on the, from the Planning Committee.
That's it, Commissioner?
Yes, that concludes my report from the Planning Committee.
Great. Bids and agreements. Page 2. Ordinance 1504. This is our vacant property proposed ordinance, doors and windows, required maintenance and repair standards. Mr. Myers or Mr. Johnson, here to address this?
I think this has been vetted through all the committees, Board of Health, the Commissioner's authorized advertisement.
All right. Give us a quick description, Mr. Johnson.
Quick description of the ordinance. This is basically an ordinance requiring vacant properties to have functioning doors and functioning window. It also has part in the ordinance that makes sure that there's a property manager within 50 miles of the property, so that if we have any concerns or issues with the property, we'll have someone to get in contact with, which is the great part of Chief Martin's quality of life division that he's instituting with his police unit. So I think I recommend this ordinance. It's pretty good.
Move to adopt ordinance 1504.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comment?
Question, just, first of all, I want to commend you for this ordinance, and I really appreciate it, because as we all know, blight is like a cancer. Once it gets started, it's tough to stop. But I had a technical question, and that was just if a home has a boarded up window, And they are in violation of this, correct?
Yes, as soon as when does it go into effect? It's 30 days after?
30 days after adoption will go into
Yeah, 30 days after adoption, it can go into effect. So any property, any vacant property that has, well, even if someone lives in the property, more or less the windows are not boarded, unless I haven't seen any so far. But if it's definitely vacant, it's in violation of our ordinance 30 days from now. So that would give us another enforcement tool to kind of, double back on any other violation, as well as, that window or door being boarded up, to kind of alleviate that, eyesore from that area.
Thank you again.
Even with the 30 days, obviously, first thing we're going to do when we find a violation is to try and educate the owner of the property,
Mhm.
encourage them to comply. So that would be done immediately.
Yeah, I may even include in our next fall newsletter a short and brief explanation of that ordinance, so residents will be aware, so it won't be a huge shock.
That was what I was going to ask Cornelius, if there was going to be any movement to advertise it or inform residents of.
I can definitely work with Bob as well as posting on the website, but I definitely wouldn't mind writing a short article to post in our fall newsletter.
That would be great. Thank you.
Perhaps Penn Live will do a story on it tonight.
Best advertisement ever.
All right, it has been moved and seconded. Any other comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ordinance 1505, which is the debt ordinance. We talked about it this last meeting. This is an ordinance authorizing the incurrence of non-electoral debt as permitted by the Pennsylvania Local Government Unit Debt Act. Debt to be incurred is $4.8 million from the Dauphin County Infrastructure Bank at a very, very low rate.
So moved. Make a
Second.
motion to approve ordinance 1505.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Any comment?
Mr. President, this is that, we had discussed this, I think, previously about work on infrastructure in especially the First Ward.
Right.
Thank you.
Mr. President, if
Yes.
I may, we discussed this a little bit last month, but it's worth repeating. I just wanted to thank the board for their support of this, thank Manager Myers for his work on it, thank the county for the program. We talked about how the improvements are much needed. I'm just wondering about the process, where we go from here. I don't know if Manager Myers or our engineer, Mr. Grubik, if you can give us maybe a time frame now that we've got the financing lined up, because I know that's been the holdup on the work.
If you approve the ordinance this evening, then there is this, I believe, a mid-June settlement date that's scheduled for the actual loan.
Okay.
There's going to be work done between now and then. There's certain items that need to be part of that settlement of the loan, as any other loan settlement goes. Once that settlement takes place, then we actually have begun scoping out the various parts of the First Ward that need the improvements. And we're going to be meeting with Manager Myers next week, and you're certainly invited, and any of the commissioners are certainly invited to attend that, just to go over what areas need to be given priority. And as you know, we're going to be doing some work not only in the storm sewers, but working with the authority with the replacement of some sewer mains and laterals in that area. So with that said, the estimated design time would be approximately 9 to 10 months, and to get design and permitting approvals. And then we would expect to begin construction sometime during mid-2016. And it would be about a year's worth of work. So seems like a long time, but in the
since
overall-
2011 seems like a long time, but yeah. When you say the sewer authority and working with them, to what degree are they involved? Are they consulting with you? Are they participating in the project? Are they contributing?
We're going to be working with them to determine the extent of the replacement of the mains and laterals. If you recall, one of the concerns was, and one of the delays was because there was concern about having storm sewer work done and then having to go back and do the sanitary work. And we felt it prudent to be able to do both of the storm and sanitary work at the same time. So we'll coordinate closely with the authority. There would have to be an agreement between the authority and the township with regard to who's paying for what. But it is a major project, and it will be done in as expeditious a time period as necessary.
Thank you for that.
Any other comment? Did we vote on that?
No.
No.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, River Watch Office Building. This is a request to reduce the site improvement guarantee. I'm stealing your thunder again. Mr.
Go
Rohr.
right ahead.
Go ahead. No.
In the first
I came
ward,
just for this, so go ahead.
River Watch has requested a reduction from $4,180 down to zero. The township engineer reviewed the request and recommended approval.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Secondly, in the 7th Ward, 20 Capitol Drive requested a reduction to their maintenance security from $47,919.39 down to zero, and the township engineer also recommended approval for that.
So moved.
Approved. Moved and
Second.
seconded. And any comment?
I have a question.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Is that similar to the site improvement guarantee where they have done the work, it's been
I
certified?
will defer for a good explanation to our engineer.
Okay.
Okay.
It is different, Commissioner.
Okay.
The improvement guarantee that is required as part of the approval process is done to secure the improvements while they are being done.
Okay.
And as the work is being done, the developer requests reductions in that site improvement. Once the streets are accepted as a condition of acceptance, there's a maintenance bond that's required, or maintenance security required, for a period of 18 months in an amount of 15% of the original improvement guarantee.
Okay.
So what we're doing here, basically, that 18-month period has terminated.
Okay.
Everything is fine. There was a final inspection done. So we're recommending that maintenance part of the issue be reduced to zero.
Okay.
The township has accepted the streets, but as a condition of acceptance, the maintenance bond was part of that.
Okay, thank you so much
So
for the
there
explanation,
are
Mr.
two
Gruber.
different parts of that.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 5.
One
Joshua
small
Wyden.
plan in the 3rd Ward, Josh Weiler. It's a plan to detail minor revisions for a residual parcel identified as parcel 622650. That lot was originally shown to be consolidated as part of parcel 622632. It's being revised, and the residual lot is to be added and consolidated with parcel 622649, which is also known as 1731 Carter Drive. Basically just a lot line change. Property zoned R2 medium density residential, recommended for approval by the Planning Commission with one waiver, and that's to waive the preliminary plan requirement.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Planning Commission attached one condition, that's to provide the seal of the engineer certifying the plan.
So moved.
Okay, the plan is moved and seconded with that one condition. Any comment before we vote?
Yeah, Mike, you said this is just primarily to move the property line, because I see
Right.
the houses
There are
are.
multiple lots there, and it's
Yeah.
just a shifting of a parcel from one to the other.
Okay, because, yeah, the houses are already there, okay. Okay, that was the only question I had, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rohr. Mr. Myers, do you have anything under manager?
No, thank you, sir.
Chief, do you have anything else tonight?
I do not.
Mr. Foreman?
I have one item for the board. The Dauphin County Land Bank is in the process of acquiring land on Tuscarora Street at the request of Susquehanna Township to eliminate a blighted area. The land bank now expects to take title to the property in June, at the end of June of this year, and has asked that the township allow them to apply for demolition permits for a property that's frankly ready to fall down, and asked that the township waive the cost of the permits. So if it's the pleasure of the board, we could waive the requirement for the land bank to apply for the permits, but not cost of application.
I'll be happy to make a motion if need be. I think that's a great project that goes back to when Tuscarora Street was in the second ward, and it was something I got to
I
hand off to
inherited
to the new first ward commissioner. So it's a great day to see this
Out of your ward.
property to see this property demolished. Actually,
I'll second
so.
Hey, any other comments?
Mr. President, I just
Mr. Napper?
Whoa.
Mr. President, I just have one question of the solicitor, if I may, Mr. Foreman. I saw in the property transfer reports that there was a transfer to Dauphin County on Tuscarora Street in April. Was that there's 3 properties, so.
Four. There's 4 parcels.
So we're waiting, I know one's privately owned, or 1 or 2.
The one that was transferred to the land bank was from a repository list from the county.
Okay,
And that's the one. The other 3 are going through actions, just finishing up actions to quiet title. And that being done, will be transferred from private ownership to the Land Bank Authority. That's scheduled tentatively for June 25th. At any rate, hopefully before the end of the month of June.
okay. So none of them will be privately owned at the end of this?
At the
then?
end of it, they'll all be owned by the Land Bank Authority.
Okay. Thank you.
And then redeveloped and then offered for private sale and re-owner.
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Chief?
Forgot. Tomorrow is Law Enforcement Memorial Day, created by President John F. Kennedy. May 15th.
Thanks for that. Good. Mr. Foreman, do you have anything else?
Thank you.
School Board, Commissioner Fleming?
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to start out first by saying congratulations to the Susquehanna Township High School students, volunteers, and donors who made this year's mini-thon a success, in which they raised more than $26,500 to help go to combat pediatric cancer. So, of course, everyone's aware of thon. Yeah. Everyone's aware of the mission of thon through Penn State University primarily, but over the last few decades, local communities and high schools have started doing mini-thon events, and so it's been an offshoot of that, and so all that money raised helps go to research to combat pediatric cancer, so it's a phenomenal job by them. The Hannah Foundation is hosting its Evening of the Arts Gala to benefit the Susquehanna Township School of the Arts. It takes place Saturday, May 30th at the Susquehanna Art Museum, 1401 North 3rd Street in Midtown Harrisburg. And for more information on that, you can contact the Susquehanna Township School District. Tickets are currently available. And speaking of the arts, congratulations to the cast and crew of Aida, this year's Susquehanna Township High School musical, which was nominated for 4 Apollo Awards, including Outstanding Musical, Outstanding Lead Actress and Lead Actor in a Musical, and Outstanding Dance Number in a Musical. And I just want to brag once more, my son was in the musical and had a fantastic time. All of the children, all of the kids, the crew, the director, orchestra, they did a phenomenal job, and of course, their work is now being recognized by the Hershey Theater with the Apollo Awards. And in addition, as part of the School of the Arts, they do plays, concurrently throughout the year as well. So, in addition to the musical, and so Susquehanna Township students have also been nominated for Outstanding Lead and Supporting Actress in the play this year that the School of the Arts did, called "I Never Saw a Butterfly." And in fact, it's the play is about the Holocaust, and a very concerned parent actually petitioned for the school district to do the play in front of the entire school at an assembly, and that was done I think earlier this year. So the entire school saw the production, and it was really excellent. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it, but I heard outstanding things, and they couple more students, or another student is also being recognized for outstanding supporting actor in another play that the School of the Arts did called Shakespeare in Hollywood. The Apollo Awards take place on May 17th, and on behalf of the board, we wish the best of luck to all the township's nominees. And Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Okay, thanks, Commissioner. Mr. Fire Marshal, did you have anything?
30 seconds.
Yes, sir.
29, 28, 27.
First, I'd like to officially thank CJ for the window and door ordinance, and as well as the commissioners for supporting it. And Tuesday is the County Fire Chiefs Association, so we're going to take this and go to the county with it, and work it from the fire side. It makes a lot of safety for our kids, for anybody potentially going into those homes for whatever reason, whether they're just playing, experimenting, doing drugs, burning the place down. It's a big safety thing for our citizens, as well as the fire service and the police officers that have to go in there and patrol those things. That is all. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Authority, Commissioner Sanderson.
Yes, thank you. Very briefly, Mr. President, you'll remember the board, in conjunction with the authority, hired Susquehanna advisors a couple of months ago. Operations, conduct interviews, and come up with recommendations on potential efficiencies that could be gained. The Susquehanna advisors, about halfway through its review, we expect a report in a couple of months. My preliminary understanding is that it has been a very productive time, and we're looking forward to excellent recommendations on staff level, on financial level. It's well done. It was well timed. I'll have more when there's more. That's all.
Thanks, Commissioner. Indian Wheels?
Indian Wheels, Mr. President, real quickly, we have our first quarter report. And again, this is a volunteer organization that helps seniors over 60. While that's quite young, but there's a lot of others that are much over 60 that need the help, those of us that are just 60. Anyway, in the first quarter, we've produced 3,654 miles worth of travel, 498 trips. So that's a lot of trips that we help people get to various things, be they doctors, food, pharmacies, etc. Volunteers have contributed 619 hours. Again, you don't need to live in Susquehanna Township to volunteer for this program, but anybody can volunteer. And we picked up 16 new clients. So that's the report for Indian Wheels. Again, a very worthwhile volunteer effort by our organization. Thank you, Mr. President.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner. Shade Tree, Commissioner Barczak.
Thank you, Mr. President. Residents interested in having a free shade tree planted in their tree lawn in front of their home, that will be done by the Highway Department in October. You can download an application from the township website, and the deadline to apply is August 1st. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Communications, Commissioner Schubert.
Yes, Mr. President. Our spring-summer issue of Living in Susquehanna Township, our township newsletter, is out and about, and it's been very well received. I wanted to just remind folks there we have a nice cover story this issue on the great service organizations that are about and serve Susquehanna residents, the Kiwanis, the Lions Club, and the Rotary, all very worthwhile organizations that anyone could join and participate and help people. The other thing I wanted to point out, Mr. President, is that the video from the meetings is now going to be available via YouTube on the township website 1 week after each meeting. So it'll be a week from now. Go to the township website, which is www.Susquehanna Township, but it's Susquehanna TWP, SusquehannaTWP.com. And right on the home page will be a link to the YouTube link so people can view these meetings whenever they'd like, as often as they'd like.
When
I
are we
think it's a
gonna
nice,
tweak
it's a nice new feature that we're offering, so people they'll get a chance to come to the meeting in person. They'll be able to go to the website.
Now, will they be able to view past meetings once we?
Well, once we will
program?
start a library, right, so we'll start, I think this will be our first one, or
No, the April meeting, I think, is up.
the initial meeting
It's
is
on
up.
YouTube, but not available on a link through the
Oh, okay.
website, as
Okay.
I understand.
I actually was able to get to it through the website, under administration.
Okay.
And,
Riker's here.
am I correct?
Go right to the source.
Front and center, big guy.
Yeah.
The YouTube link is on the homepage. We are looking for a place to put it more front and center on the website. We may have to do a post and then lead to a link. We're just trying to find space for it, but it's up there now. It's available under administration. I think right above or right below minutes, Board of Commissioner minutes. So it's still a work in progress. You can view it. Hopefully by the time the next one comes out, we'll be able to have it right on the front page, or at least guide you to where it will be.
How far back will it go?
It won't go back. It'll only go forward, the videos.
Okay.
The videos will only go forward. The minutes are there from many years ago. And we're going to try to link the video with the current board minutes. So you'll be able to see the video and actually see the minutes also. It'll be on the same page. Make sense?
Right, that's great.
Okay.
That's great.
Okay.
Very good.
Thanks so much for your work on that, Bob. I know it's a nice new initiative, and you and staff and our friends at Aiken did a lot of help to make that happen. And, Mr. President, that would conclude my communications report.
And I've been boldly into the 80s.
Yep.
Mr. President, if I may, I'd just like to add the front page article about the service organizations. I'd like to thank Commissioner Fleming. He compiled the information on that. At least I know you did I'm assuming you did the whole article. You did that, right?
Well, yeah, we turned it over. We solicited the information from the different organizations, and then we turned it over to Bob, who did an
Right.
excellent job with the layout.
Yeah, you all did, but I know you were doing the research, so I just wanted to say thank you for that fresh idea.
My pleasure.
And,
Thank you.
I want to encourage people to read it. Of course, that's why Commissioner Schubert brought it up. But someone had contacted me, a resident, because the First Ward is holding a yard sale, and they said they weren't notified. But in this newsletter is a notification that went to everybody's mailbox about the yard sale. So just pointing out to residents that the technology committee and the whole board and staff work on keeping it fresh. So there is new information in there every time. So I encourage residents to take a look at it when you have time. Yeah.
And if need be, there are always extra copies here at the building if someone misplaced or would like to, get an extra copy.
Yes.
I just want to say on the YouTube link, I'm responsible for 44 of the 45 views from last meeting.
Oh, you're the one, but that person only viewed the school board report, I understand. So that was you? Okay.
And Chris Fleming was the other one.
Yeah, right. Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Human Relations Commission, I know we have a vacancy coming up, but do you have anything else, Commissioner Barczyk?
Not at this time, just the
Okay.
vacancy.
Very good. Moving on, new business. We do have a vacancy on the Human Relations Commission.
Yes.
Go for it. Go for it.
Thank you for that spot. Mr. President, we have received a letter of interest, we all have, and a resume from Ms. Beryl Kerr, and I thank her for her interest. I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Ms. Beryl Kerr to the vacancy.
Yeah, I'd be happy to second the motion.
And I'd be happy to third it, as
Go ahead.
Ms. Kerr is an 8th Ward resident.
Out of order.
All right.
No. You can third it this one time, since she's in your
Thank you.
ward.
Thank you.
your award.
And briefly, you can all see from her resume that she's very well qualified via her experience in education. So we just would like to say thank you for stepping up and volunteering your service. We appreciate it.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any other comments? I too would like to applaud it and invite you to say a couple words right after we take the vote, if you care to do so. Carol? Okay. All in favor of?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Corr? Care to say a few words?
I just wanted to say thank you very much. I look forward to serving.
Well, thank you. We look forward to it. Look forward and thank all of our citizens who step forward and serve on boards and commissions. So thank you.
Sure.
Okay, Commissioner comments. Any comments?
Just quickly, Mr. President, I'd like to again commend our Health Officer Johnson, not just for his initiative on the doors and windows ordinance that we're considering, but also just something that happened in my ward, and I'm sure it's happened in many of our wards, where there's a property where there's a problem. In this case, specifically in the 200 block of Redwood Street in my ward, and it was a person who was gave up a property, I guess, to a foreclosure, and unfortunately, there were a lot of furniture and a lot of junk just left on the person's front yard, and it was very unsightly and unfortunate for those neighbors. And after a significant period of time, I was not even aware of this until one of the neighbors made me aware of it. I made CJ aware of it, Mr. Johnson aware of it, and within a couple days, it's been cleaned up. And I appreciate all that you do, and I hope that we are always to be as well served by your services going forward. So thank you. That's all.
Anybody else?
Mr. President?
Yes.
I have a few announcements of items, that events in the First Ward, if I may. On May 28th, which is a Thursday, the Susquehanna Township Neighborhood Watch will be planting a rain garden of sorts in the 3800 block of North 6th Street. It's going to be located across the street from Mr. G's restaurant in the triangle-shaped patch of ground that is there. Anyone who's interested in volunteering can do so. We'll be beginning at 8:30 a.m. And you don't need to stay the whole time. If you want to show up later, that's fine too. If you want more information on that, you can contact me and I'd be happy to give that to you. On Saturday, May 30th, there will be a community-wide cleanup in the township. The First Ward Neighborhood Group, again, will be working on North 6th Street to pick up trash, and the Susquehanna Township High School Key Club students, as a service project, have graciously volunteered to assist us. We'll be meeting at 8 a.m. in Rescue Fire parking lot, and again, if you want more information on that, you can contact me. If you wish to participate in any other area of the township in the cleanup on that day, Saturday, May 30th, you can contact Cindy Armour-Helm at Exit Realty. And on June 9th, there will be a First Ward Neighborhood Watch meeting. That's a Tuesday night at 7 p.m. at the Township Building. A representative from the Township Police Department will be present to discuss crime prevention tips as the summer approaches. And we'll be planning for an August 4th First Ward Community Picnic to be held at Stabler Park. And any more information on any of those items, my information's on the Township website. You can call or email me. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. Anybody else? Okay. Move on to pay the bills.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the report of bills paid in the amount of $587,366.93.
Second. Second, any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Second. Opposed?
Aye.
You opposed it?
No, I said we adjourned.
Opposed? You got to adjourn now. We are adjourned.
Adjourned.